Hey everyone, welcome. I'm pumped that you're here. I'm so excited. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to go through our 3-step metabolism reset method. A lot of you have asked about this training. How do we structure our program? How do we structure our method and see the kinds of results we do? Because we've worked with 2,000 women over the age of 40, and the average results are 20 to 35 pounds in 6 weeks. And then we teach them how to keep it off and still enjoy treats and snacks and travel and all the fun things. But we don't do shots. We don't do shakes. We don't do fads. We don't have you count calories or macros or any of those types of things. And it's because we take a completely different approach. We understand weight gain completely different. Weight gain's not the problem. It's a symptom. Okay. So that's one of our foundational things we're going to talk about. And then I'm going to show you our structure of how we do this so that you can essentially flip the switch back on your metabolism, because it's not that it's broken. It's not that it's even slowed down as you've gotten older. It's just on fat storage mode. We just got to flip that switch, right? And I'll share with you why that happens. Because if you are like most of our clients who are like, you're disciplined. It's not like you're just out there like sitting around eating junk food all day long, right? Like you're working out typically 4 or 5 days a week. You are, hitting your 8 to 9, 10,000 steps. You eat real food. You've tried integrative or functional approaches. You've, done all the fads and all the shakes, and you maybe even thought about GLP-1s or tried them. Like, you've tried a million things, but the body's stuck. And I'm going to tell you why it's stuck and then how to fix that as we go through this guide here. Okay. So now I'm going to show you also some people so you can see how this has worked for a bunch of other people and how these cycles really work. So we'll put it all together for you. Okay. So let's jump right in without wasting much more time so you can actually get to the meat of this. So here's why nothing else has worked. Here's what actually slows your metabolism down over 40. And it's 4 things you have to understand. It's not just like one thing. And women who think, oh, it's just gonna be like one thing, give me a good workout. Like, you got to stop thinking that way, because that's partly why you're stuck. But the first thing you have to understand is that weight gain's a symptom of stress. So is low energy, joint pain, brain fog, poor sleep, and everything else, right? Stress makes your metabolism adapt. Essentially, it's what flips the switch to store fat. It's not that, again, it's broken or it's slow because of age. It just feels the need to survive. That's all it's trying to do. Your body doesn't hate you. It's just getting all the signals to survive. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about what the signals are and then how to get it out of it. Okay. Number 2, your metabolism is controlled by your master metabolism control center. That is a real thing. It's not a made up term. Okay. It's often referred to as your hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, or thyroid, or ovarian axis. Your HPA, your hypothalamus pituitary axis, sends signals to your adrenals, which is like the cortisol, inflammation, blood sugars you all hear about, your thyroid, which is the metabolism and a bunch of other stuff, and then your ovaries, which is all your reproductive hormones, okay? When you're stressed, this thing says stay alive, which means store fat. So then you get high cortisol, you get inflammation, your blood sugar spike, you get insulin resistance, etc. And the problem is that short-term, this is fine, but long-term, after years of chronic stress, your body gets out of balance, which is what causes the fat in your face, your neck, the back of your arms, your hips, your belly, low energy, brain fog, poor digestion and bloating, poor sleep, joint pain. All of those things are the symptoms of many imbalances of this chronic stress happening over years. Now, exercising more and eating less is a type of stress. So that's essentially running from a tiger more in a famine. Like, that's why it's not working, is even though you think you're doing something good, you can see short-term results, your body just feels stressed again, which just tells your metabolism to slow down. That's why you plateau. Maybe you try harder and then it plateaus more and then you gain it back, right? We don't want that. And it's all because this control center is saying stay alive. Your body has become stress adapted. That's what's happening here with your metabolism. Now, here's what you need to understand about estrogen and your obviously perimenopause and menopause, is that estrogen regulates things like inflammation, blood sugars, cortisol, etc. And so when estrogen changes, what happens is muscle drops almost up to 10%. You get more inflammation that circulates as fat. You get more insulin resistance, more sleep issues, and more digestive issues. Essentially, all of the imbalances, all of this stuff here that got out of balance is now worse. It's kind of tipped over that threshold. And now it's like, maybe for the first time you have a belly and you're like, I don't know what this thing is. Or maybe it just got way worse for you and now nothing works and you try harder and all things that used to work don't, right? And it's because the estrogen's not there to help regulate all the things that was helping before. Okay, now number 4 is that your set point is there to help you maintain your weight. Why is this important? You got to really understand this principle. Your body's going to maintain your weight based on how safe it feels. This is called your set point. If it doesn't feel safe, it's going to keep or store more fat. So you can force it through cutting calories and exercise, But if it doesn't like it, it's going to plateau and it's going to gain it back to the set point that it was at before. But because you stressed it out, it's going to gain back more, prepare for the next famine, which is going to make it harder to lose it the next time and maybe even make you gain more over time, which is why I talk to women in their 50s now and their 60s and I'm even heavier. Why? Because your body hasn't felt safe every time you've done one of those diets. So these are the reasons why you are stuck. It's not about another workout. It's not about some diet or some shot or some shake or something that's going to help you lose weight. It's about addressing these root imbalances. That's really the key. So let me show you how we structure this so that you can actually do this. Number one, first step is to prime your metabolism. The number one goal of this is to get your metabolism to flip the switch to feel safe burning that midsection fat, right? So you got to realize that cutting calories and more exercise slows your metabolism down more, which is why you plateau, feel exhausted, and end up regaining the weight. So the solution to this is to wake up and prime that metabolism so your body feels safe, and you do this through increasing your food. Adaptive thermogenics is where your body increases or decreases your metabolic rate due to increased or decreased caloric intake. So when you decrease, it slows it down. When you increase it, it speeds it up. So by increasing your calories with the right ones, you're not just going to go eat a bunch of like Twinkies and Ding Dongs and McDonald's, but you're going to use pro-metabolic foods that can help signal that it's safe and start releasing fat. Okay, and I know this sounds backwards for people like, what? I'm supposed to just eat less? And I'm like, yeah, that's why the 1,200 calories hasn't worked for you. I'm supposed to eat more. And I say, yes, that's why the 1,200 calories hasn't worked for you. It's because you're just starving your body and it's slowing it down. This is why GLP-1s don't work. Not long-term, they work for a while, but they backfire in the end. Statistically, everybody's gaining the weight back. And now you've lost all the muscle too, which is not good. Okay, so you got to increase the intake of your food so that you can increase your metabolic rate. That's number one. And we do this in a way that we're doing it where we're eating a lot of food to kind of really signal to the body, hey, it's safe. You got to start releasing fat. Now, step two is when we actually dial things in to reset that control center, heal those imbalances and release fat. Remember, stress is that your metabolism control center stores fat. That's what it's signaling. And the problem is that all these internal imbalances from years of stress are stressors. Okay, if that makes sense. All the imbalances are stressors. So imbalanced cortisol, imbalanced blood sugars, and high insulin, chronic inflammation, toxic exposure, poor digestion, and the list goes on. But these are the main five. These things are stressors internally, in and of themselves. And so they'll continue to cause internal stress stores to store, or signals to store fat. And so the solution is you have to address the imbalances so that you can actually release the fat, you can skyrocket your energy, your brain fog will lift, your sleep will improve, and the inflammation will start to go down. All of which these things are, if they're poor, not the way we want them, they're just symptoms again, symptoms of these imbalances. Okay, and that's the key. We've got to start doing that approach, not just starving your body. And if you do this, the real main thing is that you're going to start to feel like yourself again, and your body's going to start matching who you are. You're going to feel like, oh, my body is doing what it should. This is amazing, right? So the key things you want to be focusing on during this is you want to lower inflammation, you want to balance your blood sugars, or essentially you need to reduce insulin resistance, you need to balance cortisol, and then you got to detox your liver. Yeah, maybe even throw in improve your digestion there, but detoxing liver will go a long way as a good start. Okay, now how do we do this? You're going to focus first and foremost on quality of your food over quantity. Okay, so real food is going to be the key to help things like blood sugars, inflammation, etc. But you still need to be in a deficit here, okay? But it's got to be based on real food. So if you're eating like a bunch of processed foods just and even if they're diet foods and low calorie, it doesn't matter. They are causing imbalances. It's got to be real food is the answer, right? Now, you want to also take this approach where you're going to focus on restorative movement rather than intense exercise. I know that's hard for people because I know you love your CrossFit and I know you love your F45 or your boot camps or your Orange Theory Fitness or whatever it is that you're doing right now that's not helping you lose weight. I know you love it, but if you kind of take a different approach in your mind where I'm still going to move my body, it's just going to be less intense. It's not forever. Just about 6 weeks is all we do it. And we were essentially calming that nervous system down, getting your brain to feel like it's not running from a tiger anymore. This does wonders for women. Now we'll bring it back. Don't worry. But this is going to be key for this first 6 weeks. And then you've got to support functions in your body with things like minerals, vitamins. And the key areas you're looking at are these: blood sugars, cortisol, hydration, because if you're dehydrated, not just enough water, but minerals, you'll have too much cortisol and things like that. You've got to help support that whole system, the whole axis, the HPA axis we talk about, that whole system that regulates. It's not just cortisol, but you got to address the whole thing. And then you also have to detox and improve your digestion. Okay. So those are the areas with your supplements you want to be focusing on, because those are the areas that are causing the problems, right? The symptoms. Now, again, things like GLP-1 medications, they don't work long-term. They literally get you to eat less. Yes, there's some benefit to GLP-1s in other areas, but statistically we're seeing that people are regaining the weight in droves, and there's so many problems. Same thing with like just a bunch of high caffeine or whatever. Those are not the types of supplements we're talking about. We're talking about supporting key functions in your body and letting real food and a deficit do the work, right? So as the body starts to work better and you get real food balancing out these other imbalances, you're working at it from both ends. And that's going to be the key there. So again, GLP-1s can help for a while, but statistically they're causing all kinds of problems, and it just backfires because it doesn't change behavior and it doesn't change imbalance. It just literally gets you to eat less is the main mechanism how people are losing weight. Okay. So that's the step number 2 is we're resetting that control center by addressing these imbalances and by supporting it with supplements, and we're getting to those root imbalances, right? That's the key. Now, step number 3, we've got to create a new set point for your body. Okay, we talked about set points above. Most people will try to lose weight for weeks and months and even years. I talked to a lady the other day. She's like, I've been doing keto for like almost a year. I haven't lost any weight, or like maybe like 5 pounds. And I'm like, okay, not the approach you want to be taking, right? Or people are like, I've been in a deficit for like 6 months. And I'm like, no. That's causing a slower metabolism and more stress and a plateau. And then you're going to gain the weight back. That's all that's doing when you try for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. After 6 weeks of losing weight, you want to focus on creating a new set point, which again is a natural homeostasis for your body, essentially where it feels safe. You've got to help your body feel safe. Now, how do you do this? Well, you take a break from weight loss. You got to increase your calories. Now, of course, the right ones, don't just go eat a bunch of junk, but you increase the amounts and the types of foods so that we can bring normalcy back to our life, right? And then we're going to add in treats and snacks and whatever else, right? Well, we want to be able to do this eventually, right? We want to be able to bring these things all back in after we've reset the body. And so we do that. And now during this phase, we also recommend you build muscle. So during this phase with step 2, we're losing fat while preserving muscle. And then step 3, we are preserving just where we're at. We're not trying to lose any more weight, but we're building muscle. And it's got to focus on progressive overload, and it's got to be designed for women over 40. Don't just do those intense stuff, boot camps and all your like cycling classes, and your Orange Theory is like the most popular one that I hear about all the time, or F45 or even CrossFit. They're too intense. Sorry. That's why it's such a struggle. That's why so many women have such a hard time losing the weight when they're exercising like that. It's got to be designed a little bit differently, right? And then you also have to stabilize the weight. Like, don't try to lose any more weight for a while. Help it feel safe first. Okay, you got to get out of that caloric deficit. Now, from here, if you want to lose more weight, you just repeat the cycle. Just do it, again, just spike the metabolism and prime it, and then reset that control center, heal and release the fat, and then stabilize again. And you can repeat that as many times as you need to reach your goal. You can lose weight faster by doing it this way rather than try to just do, working out and deficits and all these things at the same time. It's going to backfire. Okay. So let me just show you a few people who've done it and how the cycles work. Okay. So a couple of these first ones will just be one cycle. So Ashley lost 28 pounds in 6 weeks. Now Ashley's like very high performance business owner, very successful, great mindset on health and nutrition, but just struggled, right? Perimenopause was a challenge, and she tried a million things and nothing worked, right? So 28 pounds in 6 weeks. Christy lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and she's super short. She's like 5 foot nothing, and all went to her stomach, right? And so she's very holistic minded, very integrative minded, from Australia. She's business owner. Her husband was battling cancer. They were fighting it naturally, extended his life by many, many years. And she was like way into it and couldn't lose the weight, right? So she lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. Danny lost 27 pounds in 6 weeks. She's on the opposite end. She's super tall. She's like over 6 foot. But she lost 27 pounds in 6 weeks. And she was one that was like working out a ton, trying all kinds of supplements, all kinds of things. And, business owner, couldn't lose the weight, right? 27 pounds in 6 weeks. Now, Courtney, she was one who did 2 cycles. So it took her about 5 months. She had gained about 40 pounds during perimenopause. It was real rough on her. And she was very kind of naturally minded, ate a lot of just good, clean food. She, was into breath work and yoga and loves to just move her body and take care of her body. But perimenopause took its toll, and within 5 months, she was back down 45 pounds. Okay. So she did in 2 cycles. So again, she primed her metabolism, lost like 23 pounds or 24 pounds, and then she stabilized and created the set point and then repeated cycle and dropped another 20 whatever pounds. So that's how it worked for Courtney. Carrie, business owner, super successful. Labs were like insulin resistant. She's in her 50s. All the things, right? All of her labs were way off. And she was like, I got to do something, because she tried all the classic shake programs. She tried all the classic fad diets, all the things, and nothing worked. And within 5 months, she was lost 50 pounds, right? Repeated it the cycle twice. Denise lost 67 pounds in 5 months, so 2 cycles. Denise was a corporate HR director, traveled for work, traveled for fun. Literally, like during the 5 months we worked together, she traveled, I swear, like every week. Like she was always gone. But her trainer even told her, "You're wired to store fat." She'd spent $10,000. She added it up over the last like 5 years on trainers and doctors and programs, and couldn't lose the weight. And in 5 months, lost 67 pounds. Again, having done it 2 times. I think her first one, she lost like 35 pounds, almost 40 pounds, and then lost another like 20 something. So Heldana, same type of thing. Tried a million things, got young kids, does all, just busy, running around like crazy, travels a lot, 52 pounds in 5 months, cycling twice. Okay. Now we get into 3 cycles. So Amber lost 130 pounds in 8 months. And she went through big change in her marriage, job change, and moved all during that 8 months. And she dropped, did it 3 times, and every time just dropped weight. And you can see she lost 130 pounds. Now, what's cool is you'll notice she does have some loose skin, but it tightens up when you do it this way. If you just starve your body, it won't tighten up. You have a bunch of extra stuff. So there's a little bit, of course, it's just the amount of weight she had to lose, but she never felt better. She literally was like, I have so much energy. I feel incredible. I'm never hungry. And again, 130 pounds in 8 months. Speaks for itself. Now, Casey, same type of thing. She was lost 104 pounds. She did 4 cycles. She is a very successful makeup artist in Boston, traveled for work and for fun, like every other week during the 9 months. Started basically like early in the year and then traveled through summer. And she'd gotten sick, gained a bunch of weight, tried to lose it, had a little bit of success, done a million things, all things. Very, very like, biohack mindset, integrative mindset, like functional mindset, and just couldn't lose the weight. And within 9 months on my program with these 3 steps, had lost 104 pounds. So you can see how everyone's a little bit different, height, weight, all the things, their ages, of course, range. But all of them were in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. All of them had tried a million things, all of them stressed, all of them busy, had a million things going on, and did the cycles, right? And they were always able to see results. So, which again, we even guarantee the results. Like, we don't have people come in if we tell you we can help you. If we can't, we'll just work with you for free till you reach your goals. Like, if you don't lose, our guarantee in there. So I've never seen someone lose less than 10 pounds in our 6 weeks. Average is 24 and a half, 85% lose at least 20 pounds. So anyway, so that's the process though. That is how women use this every single day to get their metabolism working, heal the imbalances, stabilize the weight, and then repeat the process till they reach their goal. And then as you go forward, you can add in all the foods, help, enjoy treats and snacks and travel and still keep the weight off without having to like kill yourself in the gym, count your calories, macros, points, all the fad diet, diet culture stuff we want to break free of. So anyway, that's the process. If you want to know more about how we do it or follow a proven system to help you and get a guarantee on making sure you get the results, then there's going to be a link somewhere below this video, or you can reach out to us. You can schedule right on my calendar or send me a message and we'll get you scheduled for a metabolism assessment to make sure it's going to work. I want to make sure it works rather than say, hey, we can do this for you, and then it doesn't work. Like that seems dishonest to me, which happens way too often. So schedule a call with us and we can get you in for a metabolism assessment and see how we can help you lose that 20 to 35 pounds in 6 weeks. All right. We'll see you later.